let's shift on over to the Miami Dolphins here. And Dylan, while your mind is still being blown, I need you to answer this question for me. How does Tua impact Tyreek Hill's fantasy season? Obviously, Tyreek Hill now coming over. Yeah, I went there. How does Tua impact Tyreek Hill's fantasy season?
That TikTok sound that goes, oh no, oh no, oh no. Well, that's what you got here. Tua Tagovailoa last year, albeit once again he can't stay on the field. You know how I feel about him towards that. This guy, he doesn't throw a lot of deep balls. Last year, you look at his quarterback stats when he threw a deep ball. He only threw 6 balls over 40 yards. And I know that'll probably change when you get a speedster like Tyreek Hill, or maybe if you had a Will Fuller healthy last year, you could throw it deep. He's more of a slant guy to his boy Jalen Waddle and other pieces on their offense that he throws it around to. I think that's more of his forte. So looking at a Tyreek Hill here, I think it does hurt his value immensely. And I don't think that this will be a great relationship fantasy football-wise. He'll have his big weeks. Occasionally, he'll take a slant to the house. He'll connect on one of those deep balls, which, like I said, only 6 balls over 40 yards last year. Matthew Stafford led it with 18. But, I mean, you look at just throwing balls out like that, I know he's a track star, he's a speedster, he can get past any defense, whatever. I don't think Tua has that, let me get it out and sling it down the field to him, that mentality or that capability to do so on an accurate basis. I know he's an accurate passer more in the short game than anything. I question his deep ball abilities with someone like a Tyreek Hill.
So is Tyreek Hill still the wide receiver 1 with Tua throwing him the ball?
Oof. A very inconsistent wide receiver 1.
So back half wide receiver 1, like a 11, 12.
Maybe a fringe like 2. Like he might be a 2 fringe 1, I think. That's where I think he's placed with the Tua Tagovailoa. Why?
You're insane.
Tell me why I'm stupid.
You're not stupid. You're insane. To only attribute this is honestly the Tyreek Hill argument from like 3 years ago. To only attribute Tyreek Hill's fantasy value of deep completions is absolutely insane. I don't know, but the last time I watched Tyreek Hill, he caught I believe an 8-yard pass and went 80 yards running by everybody against the Bills. And you're looking at this, even the highlights now, there's so many ways to get a guy like this involved. And you mentioned another guy on the team who is arguably just as fast and dynamic as Tyreek Hill. His name is Jalen Waddle. And did that seem to have an impact on Jalen Waddle catching a number of passes, he struggled with run after the catch last year? You give Tyreek Hill 101 catches. I don't care where they're at on the field. He is going to be a wide receiver 1, probably wide receiver number 2 or 3 overall. This whole Tyreek Hill is going to fall because Tua. I honestly think Tyreek Hill benefits from this type of offense. He's not reliant on just going down the stretch, middle of the field, and has to catch deep balls. He's going to get a lot of slants, a lot of bubble screens, a lot of reverses, a lot of balls in his hands at the line of scrimmage. And when he has the ball in his hands, there is not, and I'm going to say this very clear, there is not one player, not a one in the NFL that scares me more than Tyreek Hill.
Now, let me ask this question here that we obviously saw last year in San Francisco. Now, I don't know how much of this was Mike McDaniel or how much was this Kyle Shanahan, but we saw in San Francisco last year the usage of Deebo Samuel. Obviously, 2 different styles of players where Deebo plays that hard physical style. They still used him in a lot of like end around plays. They used him in a whole bunch of different packages. Do you think that kind of transfers over to the Dolphins and what Mike McDaniel is going to be bringing? And now with Tyreek Hill, like that helps Tyreek Hill's cause to be arguably the best wide receiver in fantasy football this year,
Aaron? No. I guess I want to say no. I don't think it has. I think the two are not, they're not the same. I think it's 2 different things. I think you're talking about a guy in Deebo Samuel who, let's be honest, we talk about his rushing, but he had 1,400 yards receiving on 77 catches. A lot of what he did was those bubble screens, those quick slants. That part of the game, I think you're going to continue to see from the Dolphins. I think they've already done that. That kind of fits what Tua has been doing. But I don't think McDaniel is going to look at Tyreek Hill and say, I'm going to use him, or I see him doing what Deebo did. I think it's 2 different players. Do I think he gets involved in the run game? Yeah, some reverses. But I think Waddle does as well. But I just don't want to be so quick to say Tua doesn't throw the ball deep. Well, when has Tua had guys to throw the ball deep? They didn't use Jalen Waddle that way last year. And let's not forget, when Tua was coming out of college, he was arguably the best deep ball thrower we had seen in a very, very long time. Like his accuracy, everybody talked about the deep ball. So I would kind of pump the brakes on that conversation. But I think Tyreek Hill is Tyreek Hill. You give Tyreek Hill 100+ targets and around 75 to 90, anywhere from 75 to 90 catches, he's going to have 1,400 yards. And, you know, if he gets in the end zone 9-10 times, so it's a wide receiver 1 year. I don't – maybe it's not wide receiver 1. Maybe it's wide receiver 7 or 8 like he was last year, which was a bad year for Tyreek Hill.
Not
think,
sure.
With your Debo question, I'll be super quick. I think that's part of the reason they brought in Chase Edmonds as well. Not to be Debo, but so Tyreek doesn't have to be either. You know, you get 2 guys who can be shifty, who can be quick, who can be one-cut guys and do a lot of the bubble screen, a lot of the swing passes, and run the ball. Then you don't have to do it all for one guy. You have multiple guys that can do that. You can spread the wealth and keep them healthy.
Okay.
I'll take
Now,
the L here. Good takes.
Well, I mean, it's just hard. Tyreek Hill hasn't been less than wide receiver 8. And I know he's had Patrick Mahomes, but even in down years where he's only had like 75, 1,107, that was wide receiver 8.
Played some with Matt Moore and also Alex Smith too, and he still put up numbers.
Tua last year had the second best. He was the second most accurate quarterback with passes over 20 yards with at least 20 attempts, just behind Justin Herbert. So he's a
Dylan
great.
Had to go 40 yards to discredit Tua.
Yeah.
Like they use in the NFL. But when it's 40 yards, he's not that accurate.